It is another beautiful morning here at the Barney Homestead. Hey everyone, my name's Jess Barney. I have to be honest, I don't know that I'm going to even post this video. I have to be honest, I'm really struggling with YouTube, with just social media in general. YouTube in particular, I had all these big plans when I started my channel, and none of them have really come to fruition. And I was talking to my sister about this the other day. She's in town for a little while. And I was just saying, I have no content ideas. I have no idea what to do, what to share. And she was like, well, you've got to do what you originally wanted to do with YouTube. And my original plan for YouTube was just to share my life. I'm a pretty average person. I work a full-time job during the week. I'm a district manager in the retail field. My job is very stressful. It's very stressful for me. I'm sure that there are other people in my role that don't find it as stressful, but it's very stressful for me. And the garden is really my place of escape. The whole intention of starting this channel was really not to teach people anything about gardening. I think I can teach people things about gardening. But really, I just wanted to show up and show what your life can look like if you aren't super happy in your job, but spend time outside of work building a life that really makes you happy. For me, that's gardening. I have dreams. I don't think I've ever actually spoken this out loud, but I'm going to put it out there right now. I have dreams to have my own farm. A modest farm, maybe like 10 acres. I want to have a huge vegetable garden. I want to have a high tunnel. I want to try to grow food year round. I want to have animals. I want to live a more simple life at the end of the day. And I spent a lot of years of my life just feeling like I'll get to it one day. One day I'll be able to make this happen. If I continue to work really hard, put away money, do all this, I'll one day be able to make that happen. And over the years, particularly in the last 3 or 4, as I've started going to therapy for my mental health, I've realized that the time is now, and I've got to do what I can where I am, because so many years of my life I wrapped myself up in work, and I still do much of the time, but I missed out on all of the other stuff that I really enjoyed doing. And that was the whole purpose of me starting this channel, was to, show people that you can have a demanding job, have a hard career, but feel like you don't have to be stuck there. And that's the only thing that there is to life, because there is so much more to life. And if I'm being honest, it took me until about the age, I'm 36 now, I'll be 37 in November. It took me until about the age of probably 32, 33 to realize that. And I've made a lot of changes over the last few years. Again, the whole purpose was to share my life outside of work, to show people what's possible if you live in the suburbs and you have a dream to grow food, grow flowers. Really, if you just have a dream to be happy. I spent so many years of my life unhappy, and my garden, the life I am creating and have created over the last few years outside of work, really brings me joy. And that's ultimately what I just wanted to share through my videos, is me being happy. It was kind of transformational for myself as I was kind of learning and processing over the years through therapy that really I lived my life for other people. Like, I'm a huge people pleaser. Everything I do is, my initial thought is to think, okay, if I do this, who am I going to make happy, or who might I upset? was really never done for me. And when I kind of unpacked that and uncovered that, it was honestly life-changing. And I know there's other people out there who feel the same way, or maybe not quite as intense as that, but similar. And I just really wanted my channel to be a place where people could come and see a normal person doing these things and creating beauty, creating sustainability, really working towards other goals that maybe society tells us aren't worth it or aren't, you know, normal to have, to think about. I think, you know, you think of the word homesteading. My channel's called The Barney Homestead. Homesteading is not, I think people think of, you have to have tons of acres, you have to have a huge garden, you have to have animals, you have to do everything yourself. Really, homesteading is, the definition of it is taking care of what you have and stewarding the land. And so I said, why can't I do this here? So when I named my channel The Barney Homestead, it was really because I believe that's what I'm doing, but it was really aspirational too, because I have so many more goals and dreams than just this. But I've got to start somewhere. And that was kind of the whole purpose and intention of the channel. And I'm kind of struggling to find my way on how to share that. If you've seen any of my videos in the past, I just appreciate you so much. Really, I don't hear people talking about this, but when you are starting a new YouTube channel, when you post a video and you see even within like 12 hours that you have 5 views, it's kind of crazy to think that like 5 people are just watching your video or parts of your video. I know that, you know, when you think about YouTube, you think about people who are getting millions of views or 100,000 views, things like that, but everyone starts somewhere. And I'm really trying to remind myself of that these days, because I don't want to give up. I don't want to walk away, but I do feel this pressure to move faster, which ironically is kind of the opposite of my goal, which is kind of to slow down and move slower. So yeah, that was a big ramble. Hopefully it made some sense, but I just kind of wanted to share with you what I'm doing in my garden, because again, that was kind of the whole point of this. I obtained some more pots, so I just planted some more basil. My basil this year's not doing well. Don't really know why. It's just not doing well anywhere that it's planted, so figured I'd plant some more. It's still the beginning of July here, so I have a lot of time to grow. The other thing is on my list this morning, I think I'm officially going to pull out all the rest of the beets and the carrots. I pulled a couple of my carrots yesterday. They are sizing up, but they're starting to get a little woody just because the temperatures have been so hot. So I think I'm just going to pull them and take what I can get. I need to prune back some tomatillos because they are wild and out of control. And then I stuck in my pocket some more flower seeds and some cilantro. So I'm going to sow some of that in the garden. Cilantro doesn't love heat, but it does take a while to germinate too. And what date is it? It's July 7th right now. So I'm thinking that by the time it germinates, it'll be the end of July, and it might be okay to when the temperature starts to break around, you know, early mid-August. We're still hot, but it tends to cool off a little bit. I also have a bunch of harvesting I need to do, so I have a ton of beans that I need to pick, along with the carrots and the beets. And I saw a video from Jessica at Roots and Refuge Farm yesterday where she had a friend of hers making basil tea. and it looked so amazing. And I'm always looking for interesting ways to use ingredients because there's only so much pesto that I can eat. And I'm growing this lemon basil this year, and I haven't quite figured out what to do with it. And when she posted that video, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this basil tea. So go check her out, her channel again, Roots and Refuge, and check out that video if you're looking for a new way to use basil. But yeah, just figured I would take you along with me as I'm doing things today, and hopefully you find some peace and joy while you're watching this. Really inspiration. And I'll continue to show up here. I'm going to continue to push myself outside of my comfort zone. And we'll just kind of ride this journey together. Wherever you are, whoever you are, welcome. Thank you. You mean so much to me. I really, really appreciate it. That is not a bad green bean harvest this morning. I think I may have another zucchini that is ready. I do indeed. Right here. So that's about the right size. So I will add that to my basket. I think what I decided I'm gonna do with the zucchini is make zucchini chips. I have 2 in the house, plus this one, plus all these beans. So I'm trying to get creative with how I preserve. And I bought a dehydrator last year. So I think I'm gonna try zucchini chips. I have another wave of zucchini plants started on my patio that'll go out in probably a week or so. So if you've ever grown zucchini before, you know that it's only a matter of time before you're up to your eyeballs in zucchini. So, and there's only so much sauteed zucchini, roasted zucchini, or zucchini bread I can make. So looking at different creative ways to preserve it. And yeah, I thought making zucchini chips might be a good solution. I think I'm going to pull the beets and the carrots next. I've pulled some of them. I made 3 jars of pickled beets, and they are in the fridge, so really excited to have those back. They're one of my favorites. And overall, I'm actually pretty impressed with how the beets turned out this year, despite the crazy spring and hot early summer we had. So yeah, let's dig the rest of these up. Not too shabby. When I was pulling some of these carrots yesterday, I noticed that you can kind of see on this one here how there is kind of starting like right here, this soil line on the carrot. And it confirms my suspicion that these 3 beds that I put in this year that are new, the topsoil is just very heavy and it's not really breaking down. And so everything that is trying to root in these beds is really struggling to get through that thick topsoil. And you can see on this carrot just all of the mud and topsoil that's on that bottom portion. So root vegetables are good to grow if you're trying to improve your soil because they will essentially kind of aerate it as they grow down. But things that have thinner roots, like most of your other plants, right, that grow above ground, like the zucchini, they can struggle a little bit if you have hard compacted soil. And that's ultimately what's happening with the topsoil in these beds because we've just had so much rain and it's a new bed, they're new beds and they just haven't had time to establish yet. but I'm getting a couple good ones. They can all be used regardless of what size they are. I did not do a good job of thinning my carrots. I've got a lot of tiny little runty ones. That's a lot of food for an entire area that I didn't expect to get much in. So I'm pretty happy with that. This guy is the winner. Oh, he's cracked, but he's still edible. I love these purple carrots. They're delicious. Okay, on to the next task. Trimming these crazy tomatillos. I've never grown these before. It is like a jungle in here, and I have no idea how to prune them. But I need to do something. It is just crazy. I'm starting to get a ton of fruits. Another one. These are what they start looking like. This guy should be a fruit. Got some in here. But then part of me also just wants to say, screw it and just let the plant do its own thing. I think I'm not going to prune them today. I think I'm just going to leave them and see what happens. I'm going to tie up some of these tomatoes though and help them. Okay, the tomatoes are tied. And the last thing I'm going to do is water the seeds that I planted. So that is, oh, someone changed my thing on my watering can. So thanks for joining me in today's video. I'm gonna finish this watering, gonna cut some flowers to bring inside, and thanks for letting me be vulnerable and just share what's on my mind. I'll catch you in my next video. Bye guys.